So you guys aren't here with permission from them?
Sorry?
You aren't here with permission from them?
I didn't say that.
You told me to ask him, he said he doesn't know, so why are you here?
I didn't. This is the first time I've ever spoken to you. I didn't tell you to ask anybody anything. How's it going, guys? Amagansett Press. We are coming to you today from the United States Post Office in Glendale, Colorado. I am out with watching the Watchmen. We have Old Glory waving in the breeze, as she should. And we're going to pay a little visit on these folks here at the Glendale Post Office and find out if they respect and honor our right to take video and photographs in public and from publicly accessible areas of public buildings. Let's go in and take a look. It's an outdated copy, 2007. That's what the conference room. This one's even older, it's 2003. Pardon me.
I'm so sorry. That's all right.
How you doing? I need to ship this, I need to print it. Okay, I can put a return on it, real quick. 220.
You guys filming?
Sorry?
What are you guys filming?
Oh, we're just work.
Just for fun?
Sorry?
Just for fun?
No, not at all. Not for fun at all. No.
I was wondering, just because I'm on camera, so.
Numer-
That's their cameras.
numerous cameras, yeah.
Just a random person kind of standing with the camera, you know, inquiring what's going on.
Yeah, no problem. You can ask. Sure.
Yeah.
I get it.
So what kind of work?
Well, I can't discuss it. You can ask the gentleman behind the counter.
Okay.
No, I have no idea. That's interesting.
They said to ask you. Just interesting.
All right, thank
Have a good one.
you. No answer?
No answer?
Nobody knows.
They're filming about it?
I don't know. That's why we're talking right now. I'll keep the door right there.
help you? Yes, ma'am.
So you guys aren't here with permission from them?
Sorry?
You aren't here with permission from them?
I didn't say that.
You told me to ask him, he said he doesn't know, so why are you here?
I didn't. This is the first time I've ever spoken to you. I didn't tell you to ask anybody anything.
Well, you said to the other guy. Is that incorrect?
It'll go priority because it's too hectic. So anything with the fragile
Thank you.
budget? I'm not up yet, so.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Nice day. Thank you.
Okay, there you go. Thank you.
I mean, they can't just be filming people.
How are you?
So you guys work for the CIA?
No, definitely not. Definitely don't work for the CIA. You wouldn't see me if I did.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I'd probably be dressed as one of the customers and in line with you.
I don't know anymore. Hi, how are you? Thank you so much. Appreciate the help.
Which I have your scanner over here for me.
You know what I'd like to do, because you were such a gentleman? Okay, I'll come this way. I'll tell you what we're doing.
Okay, it's fine. I appreciate that.
You know, well, I appreciate a guy that's got a smile on his face and doesn't freak out, you know?
Oh, no. I'm old, okay?
I'm with you.
I've been through a whole lot.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
So you remember the good old days like I do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, way before you.
Oh, well, I don't know how way, but maybe you got me by a little bit, probably. So, first of all, my name's Jason.
Glenn.
Glenn, nice to meet you. This is my son, Ben.
Ben, pleasure to meet you.
Ben's a local high school student here, 16
awesome.
years old, learning the ropes. So, what we do is, I don't really like to label things, but if you have to put a label on it, we do First Amendment audits. Mm-hmm. Okay, because what we do, we believe in the Constitution of the United States, and I think I'm going to make it real quick because I'm sure you're busy. But the Constitution's been taking a beating lately. I'm sure you know. I don't know if you're an ex-military guy or not, or.
Well, I don't want to go into any.
And I'm not asking rhetorical statement, but what we do is we were just over at the police department. We go to sheriff's departments, jails, prisons, public buildings, FBI buildings, Air Force bases, anywhere that's publicly accessible property. Mm-hmm. Now what we do is we express our right to take video and photographs from a public place and public property without going in any restricted areas or anything, and that's what it is, because rights are like freedoms. Rights are like muscles, right? Mm-hmm. And if you don't exercise them, you lose them. So basically what we're doing, to put it in a nutshell, is we're just out exercising our rights.
You know, I totally agree with you. As long as it doesn't infringe into any aspect, like with the police or something, if you're filming something while they're doing their job,
right,
that could be construed as interfering with their job and what they're doing.
Absolutely,
okay?
It can. But you know what? It can also be misconstrued as interfering when we're not. So it's a very fine line you have to walk, and you got to be careful. But we tend to stay on the right side of those things. We don't like to interfere with anybody. That's why when the gentleman asked me what I was doing inside and I didn't answer him, because sometimes what'll happen is you ask me what I'm doing, I answer you, you don't like it, things start to escalate, and once they start going up, they're not going to come back down. We're not looking to create a disturbance.
No,
we're
I
not,
understand.
you know.
It's no big deal. Except
But you
people feel we're in a day and age right now with everything going on, especially with terrorists and stuff, because they do filming and stuff, looking for soft targets and everything. So when people see that, they think, wait a minute, what are they doing? The question pops up in their mind, and it makes them uncomfortable.
And do you know why that is?
Yeah, it's because of everything that's happening.
No, I mean, there were acts of terrorism at Pearl Harbor in 1941. I mean, terrorism's been going on forever. You go back to the
social media wasn't tied to those type of things back then. I mean, you could film something and then put it right on the internet, and send it out over the airways
Oh,
in an instant.
Google does it all the time.
But people
Yeah.
feel uncomfortable about that.
Well, and that's what we're trying to get people to take a deep breath and relax and let their shoulders down and not be so paranoid. That's major media is what's gotten people to think that way.
I don't think that we're living in an environment today that you've got to be vigilant. You've got to be looking over your shoulder. People are getting killed in churches.
You do have to be vigilant.
Yeah, and it makes people very uncomfortable.
But there's a
when somebody does, when you tell them what you're doing, then that brings out a relaxed atmosphere. Okay?
Right.
I'm just saying, hey, I'm in here because I want to protect your Amendment right.
Right.
Okay. But if you're just sitting there not saying anything, and I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing, that just raises all kinds of suspicions and flags.
But it gives us an objective viewpoint of what people's reaction is and what's going on and how these people, basically it's not even about the customers.
I could see everybody in that line was uncomfortable with what you were doing.
Right.
Everybody was reiterating that to me as I was standing in line for 20 minutes there.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
But if you really think about it, when you were a kid, you even said on the way out that you were a little older than I am, right?
Right.
So when you were a kid and you saw somebody filming out on the sidewalk, you jumped in front of them and waved and said, "Hi, Mom." What
Well, not
happened?
really.
Yeah, sure. That's what people used to do. Sure, they did. Everybody.
I always felt uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable right now, doing this. But it doesn't bother me because, like I said, it's like I've been through a lot.
You know why?
I got nothing
You know
to
why
be
it doesn't bother you?
intimidated.
Because you have nothing to hide,
Right.
and also because you know deep in your mind that there's nothing to be afraid of.
Right. Well, that's true.
A guy out with his son taking some video.
However, because if you'd followed me out the door and didn't say anything,
Well, I wouldn't
and
do that.
introduced yourself,
Right.
then I would have a real issue and concern at that point. Even though you were doing your amendment right to film in public places, then all of a sudden you're impeding on my space and my safe zone, and I would consider that an act of assault, actually.
Okay.
Okay.
So if I would have followed you out without saying something to you,
Yeah, if you'd have got close to me,
Well, I
I
think-
would have pushed you away.
I think you could tell by the way I approached you and the way I was
Oh, no,
speaking to you.
exactly.
I was very
No,
concerned
exactly.
about how you were interpreting our
Exactly.
interaction, and that's important. I don't want to alarm anybody. At the end of the day, what we're trying to do is the opposite. We're trying to get people to not. It's one thing to walk around and be vigilant, like you said, but walking around paranoid and condition red all the time is no way to live. So there's gotta be a happy
I know
medium.
it's no way to live, but I think we live in a paranoid society today. Every day, because of the incredible, and what I would say is the media.
That's what it
The way
is.
They sensationalize.
There you go.
everything. We are in a paranoid society right now.
Now, okay, so what you just said, if I'm interpreting what you said correctly, is that a lot of people's fears and apprehension are coming from false reporting or
Well, I think
sensationalized
that's
reporting.
a contributing factor.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. So free press is your free press. I'm free press. Anybody that sees anything and disseminates that information to the public is press. It's written into the Constitution of the United States, and that's a vital part of our country.
Yeah, but the problem is I have personally, and I don't want to go in it because I got to get going.
Okay.
But I don't think the press is what the press was 50 years ago.
It's certainly there's no more
Okay,
Walter Cronkite.
They don't just disseminate the facts of an individual aspect, world or whatever, okay? Basically now is it's become
A corporate agenda.
well, it's more than that.
It's money.
It's money, yeah.
Right.
And they have their opinions. You should not put opinions in objective news.
You absolutely should not. You're absolutely correct.
But anyway,
I remember watching not watching, but seeing it afterwards. I wasn't born then, but when Walter Cronkite reported on John Kennedy's assassination, that was the first time he took his glasses off and he actually showed emotion. And
Yeah.
you didn't do that back then, and he actually felt improper doing that.
Well, I don't.
And I
blame
agree
them for
with you.
showing emotion.
No,
That's
not at
fine.
all. Yeah.
But you shouldn't interject emotion
Opinions.
into a story.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That's what I feel.
No, and I agree
So
with you
anyway,
100%.
guys, I gotta
It's a
run.
long conversation, and we could sit down and talk about this for a very long time.
We agree to disagree, but
Well, you know what? I think if we had the opportunity and the time to sit down and have a longer conversation, we'd probably agree on a lot more than you think we do.
we might. We might. Okay.
But Glenn, you have a wonderful day.
You
I appreciate
as
your
well.
time, sir.
No
Thank you.
problem at all. Nice
righty.
meeting you.
Take care. Thank you. Got on the stamp before we leave. Oh, we're just documenting our transaction here.
Your transaction?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I haven't gotten up there yet. We're in the process. Yeah. Waiting in line.
Waiting in line.
Yeah.
So how are you? Thank you. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
Hi.
Can I have a stamp, please?
One stamp?
Yes, ma'am.
You want a first-class stamp,
Yes.
55 cents?
Yes, please.
Wait just a minute.
And do you want to leave soon?
Well, yeah, I've been getting mail. I must have.
You have to find one I can tear. We can't tear very many of them.
I remember when they used to be 7 cents.
Getting mail now.
No.
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I don't even remember that.
5, 5, 6.
Yes.
They were 13 when I started working for the post.
Yeah, they went from 7 to 13. I believe they went from 7 to 13.
I don't remember.
Yeah. And I also remember a terrible thing, but my mother's husband used to smoke cigarettes, and I used to go next door and buy them for him. They were 45 cents a pack. Used to be cheap to kill yourself.
No, don't
Not
say
anymore.
that. Okay, one stamp is 55 cents out of $1.
Thank you.
That's everything you need?
Yeah, actually, I was going to ask you if the postmaster is in.
45. We have a supervisor.
That would be perfect.
45 change. Wait just a minute. There's
Thank
your
you so
change.
much.
And the actual postmaster's in downtown Denver.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if there's a supervisor or
there's a supervisor.
manager, it'd be great.
Here, let me get your receipt.
Sure.
Okay, so there's your receipt, the change.
The old
There's
survey?
a survey, the old survey.
That's nice.
There you go.
Thank
you
you,
want to
Pam.
step down to that double door?
Sure.
I'll
Thank
bring
you so
it up.
much. I appreciate it, Pam. Thank you.
What are you doing, you guys?
Sorry?
What are you doing?
Buying a stamp? I just want to speak to
You're
the
recording.
supervisor for a minute.
You're recording on there.
Yeah. I always document stuff.
Everywhere you
This is
go.
my son. We just go out and film together sometimes. And
Oh, do you?
it's actually what I went to college for a very long time ago.
Cool.
Yeah. And they have their, I want to speak to the supervisor because their POW flag outside
You
is.
had to answer the phone and then there'll be a...
Thank you so much.
Uh-huh.
So their POW MIA sign that's
Yeah.
outside is flying upside down.
You're kidding.
No, so I want them to fix that. So that's why we're still here.
I love it.
Yeah.
Way to go.
See that? You thought we were doing something nefarious, and now all of a sudden you love what I'm doing. So you never know, right? Yeah.
I'm a film freak too.
Are you?
I love doing that. Yeah.
More video than photos?
Oh, yeah.
Or you do
Video,
both?
Both.
Both, nice.
Film.
Cool.
Did film.
Maybe I reminded you to get out there and take some pictures.
You did.
Good. Excellent.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cameras are a wonderful thing. These days, everybody's afraid of
Is
cameras.
that a
But
little
GoPro.
GoPro?
Is this anything you can smash?
Everybody's
That-
afraid of
that's a
cameras. I don't know.
Canon.
Yeah, he's got a nicer camera than I do. The kids have everything, you know.
I have a Canon too.
Do you?
It's just like little shredded
80?
paper in there.
80D?
Yeah.
Nice.
Because
That's a good camera.
Yeah.
we have to make it so it'll
Yeah, no, I think it's a lot of fun.
templates.
And a
put
drone.
around.
Couple
Otherwise, I
drones.
have
Do
to
you?
parse it
Yeah, I'm
out.
thinking about getting a drone.
You need it.
Yeah. No, it's nice. And you know what's nice? From when I was a kid, if I can find 5 pictures of myself and 1 Super 8 video somewhere, I'm lucky. This kid's got 10,000 pictures of himself growing up.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, with his
I love
parents
it.
and with his family. And yeah, it's nice.
I love it.
Yeah.
I just spy on
So
people.
it would be 7
But you know what, people?
I just creep around.
I see you do creep around.
You know what though? You know what? It's funny though because you say spy on people. It's hard to spy on people in public,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
right?
right.
Everybody's got this notion that they have some expectation of privacy in public. I don't know. If I want privacy, I go home and close the blinds and lock my door. And
Change your phone
That's it.
location setting.
but you know what? Another benefit of being out taking video in public is I get to meet nice people like yourselves. All right?
There he is.
Oh, perfect. How are you? No problem at all. How are you? My name's Jason. Jake. Jake? And you're the supervisor? Yep. Can we just go right out in the front? Can I show you something that I just wanted to point out to you? All right, great. Thank you. You folks have a wonderful day. And get that camera out. Good. Take care. Yeah, I just want to point something out to you out here. So you're, we appreciate that you're flying the flag and the POW MIA flag. Do you notice anything about the POW flag?
It's upside down.
It's upside down, yeah.
Yeah.
So if we could get somebody to flip that over, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, because that's just strikes a chord with me. I don't know if it bothers you or not, but
Oh, it does.
yeah. So if we get that turned over, and then maybe whoever does that, just let them know that's a huge no-no.
Yeah.
You know, those are
Both of them.
those are guys that are either locked in cages or lost their lives. You know, for
Yeah.
many years,
Yeah,
and
I'll get
we
them
gotta respect them. Yeah.
I'll get them out here.
That's all. And also, and on another note, I just want to thank you for. I don't know if you were aware that we were here videotaping. Okay.
As soon as you walked in.
Okay. And I guess somebody at the counter said you guys were discussing it, so I don't know if you called anybody and got advice on how to handle it or whatever it was, but you handled it well. Your employees didn't give us any problems about taking video, and that's what we like to see, and that's...
It causes a little concern with them. You know, they are handling money and things like that, so they come back and let me know what's going on just to make sure, but like I told them, 99% of the time, nothing to worry about.
All right, good.
Not anything that's going to lead to problems later. I mean,
Right, and we don't want to raise alarm, and we don't want to disturb business, and we don't want anybody to be concerned. We're actually, our goal is, what we're trying to accomplish is the exact opposite. I don't know if I introduced, my name's Jason, this is my son, Ben.
I'm Jake.
So we do this together as a father-son thing. And what we're just trying to do is just bring awareness to people's rights and freedoms, which in this day and age, as people like to say, are evaporating faster than...
Oh, it is. Well,
I mean, it's...
the first thing I told my clerk, they're fine.
Good.
You know, I mean, we have cameras in the building for a reason.
Right.
You know.
Exactly.
So if anything comes down the line, we know exactly what's going on.
And not here today, but something just so you have a little ammo in your pocket for that. Sometimes I've had clerks at post offices say to me, because I'll say, well, what about all these cameras? There's 15 cameras in here. And they say, well, those are private. They're security cameras. They're not going anywhere. If I wanted to, I could come in here, do a Freedom of Information Act request, or with the postmaster, I could get copies of all those cameras and put them on the internet, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. Now, I'm not going to, and that's not what we're all about. But so people can do that. So just remind them of that. I mean, you know, because you can't feel like you're in public and you can do private things, because that could cause problems for yourself.
It does.
You know, and it could also cause problems. You know, somebody calls the police on me and my son. God knows what that could escalate to, and all we're doing is taking some video and having a nice chat with some folks.
Yeah.
So you've been more than professional and cordial. We appreciate that.
Well, then
I thank you again.
I mean,
Good.
As long as no issues came from it, that's what they were worried about.
That's it. Yeah.
But
so now we get to give you a pass and
feel good.
tell everybody how wonderful you did. So it's going to probably take a day or two for me to get this up, but if you go on YouTube, just do a search for your post office and it'll come up.
Okay.
All right. And we'll make you. I was about to say we'll make you look good, but we won't make you look good. We're very objective in what we do. You made yourselves look good.
Yeah.
All right. All right, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it. You have a good day. I'm sorry. Was it Jake?
Yeah.
So Jake's a man of his word. He's out here doing it himself. I appreciate that, brother. It means a lot.
Not a problem.
All right. You have a good day.
You too, boss.
Was the United States Post Office in Glendale, Colorado. So, you know, some customers expressed some concern, which always happens. The employees were unsure of what to do. They got in touch with their supervisor. Their supervisor gave them the right advice and instructed them properly. And there were no issues. And we actually got to have a couple of good conversations with some folks and hopefully shed some light on what we were doing here today. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. I guess we're going to hop in the truck and head out to the next one and see what's happening. It's getting a little late. See how much time we have left. But that's it for here. So coming to you from Glendale, Colorado at the U.S. Post Office, watching the Watchmen, Amagansett Press. We'll catch you on the next one, guys. Out.